on the Champions League final. So this was the first time Inter Milan versus Paris Saint-Germain happened. And folks were expecting PSG to win, but not necessarily that it would be this one-sided. So here are my thoughts. It was quoted that this game was the game of men versus boys, and that the age of Inter Milan's squad is older than Paris Saint-Germain, in which there are many youngsters playing for PSG. So notably, Inter Milan used the 3-5-2 formation. So when you only have three defenders on that back line, that is easily exploited by pacey youngsters. And so many times the goals looked a bit silly because you had this weak three defender back line, then you had some pacey fellow, just keeping onside, receiving a through pass in a very clumsy three center back defensive line. You don't want to play three at the back against a youthful and pacey PSG. So anyway, you could say that Inter Milan had an older and more physical squad, and PSG had a younger and more pacey squad. And so when there was the kickoff, what did PSG do? One player went into the half of Inter Milan, and then the other player simply kicked the ball out for an Inter Milan throw-in in their own half. What does this do? This means that instead of passing the ball backwards and playing possession in their own half, PSG wanted to start with the ball in Inter Milan's half and apply pressure, which is quite clever, and Luis Enrique is quite clever. So okay, UCL Final. What's the kickoff? No, he's just gone and kicked the ball out. Well, yeah, it's actually genius. But anyway, so anyway, yeah. Now, talking about this, let's say you're a graduate of a bachelor's in computer science program, and you have that 4-year degree, and you landed a 100K software job. Due, who is 19 years old and scored a brace in the 5-0 win in the final, his salary is 6 million euros, right? And so basically you could be a college graduate with a technical computer science degree, nerd, and have a 100K software job, which is hard to get, and you have to be pretty smart, even to land that, right? You could do that for 60 years. Meanwhile, Due at 19 is going to earn 6 million euros in 1 year, right? And he just won the Champions League final and scored a brace in it. So wrap your head around this. Due, a 19-year-old without a college degree, as a professional football player, in 1 year will earn 6 million. And if you have an undergrad degree in computer science and you landed a six-figure software job, you'd have to do that for 60 years to make the same amount of money that Due makes in 1 year as a 19-year-old professional soccer player for PSG. So why is that the case? Well, that's simply because the best players in the world are sponsored by companies. A whole lot of consciousness watches soccer. It's the world's #1 sport. In America, you have American football and baseball and basketball, but soccer is the most brilliant and renowned sport the world over, with the only exception of America, where it's not the most popular, pretty much. So, when a player is sponsored by a company, and when a player is signed by a club, on that club jersey, there are a bunch of logos of companies that are partnered with that club. And the ad revenue that these companies, or the amount of money that these companies bring in from having great players affiliated with their brand, is ridiculous, which warrants that 6 million salary. It's all possible because of marketing, the immense viewership of soccer, and all this ad revenue, and popularizing companies like Rakuten and this, that, and the other, whichever company is on the jersey or affiliated with the club. So hey man, if you're a nerd with a 4-year computer science degree who just landed a 100K software job, you could do that for 60 years. 19-year-old Due, 1 year, 6 million euros. You're a nerd ass working for 60 years. Due, 1 year, makes the same amount of money. Only 19 years old. That's the world we live in. So now, of course, there's also upwards potential. So if you move up in software, you could eventually earn 200K or 300K. If you're a 300K software developer, you could work for 20 years to make the same that Due makes in 1 year. Right? And so Due is not even like the world's highest paid soccer player. 6 million salary a year for a soccer player is not that high. But this is what I'm trying to point out. So, interestingly and ironically, I'm 24, and I have a bachelor's in math, right? Double minored in computer science and physics, 3.7 out of 4 GPA. I suggested this quantum computing collaboration as a freshman. It's an ArcZiv. The paper is called Geometries and Fabrication Methods for 3D Printing Ion Traps. Then I became a McNair Scholar and published a paper about optimizing a rocket. And then I got into the number 16 grad school in the country, which is Northwestern's Electrical Engineering Master's Program. Does Due understand any of that nerd shit? No. The work I've been doing, right? I'd have to work for 60 years or 50 years to make the same that Due makes in 1 year. So my tech nerd ass is working for 50 years to make the same that Due makes in 1 year. So although I'm a tech guy who has the credentials I previously stated, I love soccer, or I love football. And so in terms of videos that have blown up on this channel, One day I filmed all the flags of the world. It got over 70,000 views. One day I met the world record holder for blind solving a Rubik's Cube at an airport in Atlanta. It got over 10,000 views. I made a song, a musically simplistic song. It got 1.1k views. My friend and I did this show where we got an agility robotics digit and hung a Hawaiian lei on its neck to bless it for the future of autonomy and so on. That stuck at 1.1k views. There's a video of me playing Clair de Lune, of me doing random yo-yo tricks. But the video of me doing something that blew up was me doing soccer tricks. And so let's say within the first 15 minutes of that being on the internet, it already had over 1,000 views, and then it plateaued at just about 3,200 views, right? What's the context of that video? I went to a turf field. I met this guy. I said, hey, hold my phone. I want to try and rainbow flick the ball over my head, continue juggling, doing around the world, do a chest stall, then take a shot. All in one clip. And I want to execute those skills one after the other without making a mistake. And so it took 3 takes. And when this person, my friend who filmed it, started the video, when he stopped it, was perfect. The video that's on 3.2k views right now is completely unedited. I don't know how that happened. No one really knows how it happens or what the magic is. But you know, if I went pro in soccer and had a club sign me, right? Because if I really trained, I could be a pro. I have great touch. You know, I have height. I have athleticism. I have stamina. I have technicality. You know, if I went pro in soccer and I got a contract, I'd be making more money being a professional athlete than I would being a tech nerd, right? So I don't know how that will play out. Because it's just really, you know, hitting me. Even if I'm a 100k tech guy, I'd have to work for 60 years to make the same amount of money that Dewey makes in 1 year. And now my soccer short's blown up. Should I train a little bit and try and be a pro soccer player? Have a club sign me? Play at the professional level? Get signed by a club? Wear a jersey that has company logos on it? Get a contract that pays me on the order of millions per year as a pro soccer player? Making way more money than being a tech nerd. I don't know. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. In terms of FC25, a rainbow flick is a 4-star skill. And around the world while juggling is a 5-star, combined with, like, you know, chest stall is, I think, 5-star, where you can, like, hold down one of the joysticks, and it when you're juggling you can do a chest stall. That's with the flare trait. So yeah, I'm 24. If I trained for like 2 years, I could go pro at 26 or something, which would be late. But I'd make more money than being a tech nerd. Why did this video blow up? I don't know. So, So yeah. Um, yeah. So I recently played a scrimmage and I said, hey, play 10. So 10 is the person who plays just behind the striker. The 10 is the person who uh, is technical and can dribble, but also is a creator at times and also a finisher at times. And so 10 is good for me because although I'm 6'4", I'm really technical. I can dribble really well, and I have great passing and vision, but I also am a great finisher. So when they put me at 10, we started scoring. We and then we ultimately won. Uh, Playing center attacking midfield or a center forward or a false nine where the wingers overlap with me um, is I think my position. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Either way, trying to go pro in soccer. Club signs me, making way more money than being a tech nerd. And that's something about the world I don't like. So, is Due smarter than a 300K software developer who knows a lot of intense computer science and algorithms? No. You put Due in front of a computer, say, hey, do this 300K software job where you have to know all these algorithms and have detailed understanding of computer science and abstraction. Due's like, what the fuck? Meanwhile, Due's making 6 million a year instead of 300K a year, right? Because he's one of the best soccer players in the world. So that's the nature of things. So so anyway, yeah, I'm done with this one. Bye bye.